All right, so hi guys. It is the 30th. It is All Hallows Eve. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a good day. I also want to point out I hope that my audio is okay. I've had to start to mess with my settings. Again, my microphone is if you're new here, very old, and when you have a very old Yeti, they tend to have this problem where you kind of have to mess with the settings a lot, and it's rather irritating. It's kind of not fun. But anyway, what I wanted to say was I know the last couple videos have been going up a little late the past couple days for Art-O-ween, but it's all because I had a hiccup with one of the videos. I won't be going into it, but it was a video I had to collab with a friend, and it kind of just threw my whole groove off. It definitely told me I need to prepare a lot better for next year. So I want to, I'll make a follow up video later on about things that I've learned doing this and things that I've, been able to grow with my art recently in this very short time span and other things and some other videos planning up. So quick little uppy date. This is very much a pure rambles video, by the way. Whatever video art's on the background, it does not matter. We are purely getting a vomit thoughts kind of situation here. So I did my stream yesterday, had a lot of fun, and I also got to see the My Hero movie. So if any of you guys saw that, that was really cool. Let me know who your favorite character was down below if you saw it as well, because I got to go see it with my friends. But um a lot of things are going to be changing once November rolls around. So I will be doing the 12 Days of Artmas again this year for December. But November, I have a lot going on in November, like a lot. And with the magic of being self employed and, you know, uh, a content creator in a sense. It's odd me calling myself a content creator, but that's pretty much what I am. Um, to have like a vacation or time off, you have to do a lot of work in the meantime because the algorithm is a mean mistress. I know I've talked about it a lot. A lot of other people have talked about it a lot. And I'm sure if you're people who really like YouTube, you've noticed kind of a content drop recently. And I have a bigger video planned for that. I know I keep saying that, but I do. I'm doing my best to try to like have like really more in-depth comments that aren't like, oh, I'm inspired, I need to talk about this right now, I need to just get this out of my skull and talk to people. I still plan on doing those because I enjoy doing them, but there are many others where I'm sitting here like, you know what, I think I need to do research on this. Like I'm not a youngin anymore, I'm almost 30. And so well, I'm turning 29, but at this point I pretty much feel like I'm 30. I have a lot planned, and like I said, November's gonna be very busy for me, so I'm hoping to get at least the 4 videos done. Are there 4 videos in November this year, or five? I mean, weeks. Brain. That's something I probably really should have checked out. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, well, yeah, five, pretty much five. So, on top of that, with the vlogs and everything, you're still gonna get those. Don't worry. But I have a very big trip planned, and so because of that, I have to get other things done in advance and work on things. I will be gone from November 11th to the 16th, and I will be in Lafayette, Louisiana, visiting my friends. So I'm very excited. Actually, at the time of recording this, while you hear all the wonderful traffic sounds of me living in the city, I will, in fact, be getting my booster today for the, six spike year-round boy vaccine booster. Not going to talk about that much here, but I'm getting that done today, so I'm also very excited, which is also why I'm doing this audio right now. Tomorrow, for the last day of Art-O-ween 2021, I will have, there's a whole dedicated art video to it. I updated my Halloween illustration, so I would very much like you guys to check that out. But if you really want a spoiler, you don't want to know much about the process, it is up for a print in my Redbubble shop, so if you want to follow that, it's my link tree link down below if you want to get it as a print, just as if you want a spoiler for the actual artwork, or it's already up on Patreon because my patrons always get my art done first when it's like a fully finished piece that's personal. And not under NDA. But anyway, with that ramble, I just want to talk about kind of what I've learned so far with this whole process and things going on right now, because I've noticed with YouTube, and I'm sure many of you are too, if YouTube was like a comfort thing. I mean, I, like many millennials, don't have cable anymore, so like my only source of media is streaming services and YouTube. But I started noticing that a lot of my favorite content creators have just slowly stopped posting and slowly, like, just, drifting away or doing other things. And originally, I did not understand why, because I always, liked YouTube. I still like YouTube in a sense, it's why I'm doing all this work. Trust me, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't like it. And I wouldn't be going through all the stress if I didn't like it. But I've noticed that I saw the jump a while ago where a lot of people were moving to Twitch and things like that, and I didn't really understand why for a long, long time. I just didn't get it. And then as I started streaming more and I started slowly growing my community there, I started kind of getting it a little bit. Um, I feel like there is something that's a lot more personal when you get something real time, like when I get to catch my friends or watch a playback or see things. Because another thing that's kind of a little sucky is, and if you want me to go more in depth in this and like do research and make this a proper topic video, I will, because it's something that I find fascinating. But I've noticed the older I get, the content that I want to see is becoming harder and harder to find. It's not as easily it's not as easily done, pretty much, and it's why I'm noticing, because I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, that a big reason why a lot of, art YouTubers that were more on the serious side or the crass side are working on things, and a lot of them were really, really focused on their art, and this isn't any shame that people that are, artists that aren't, but I've noticed that there's been an uptick in not so much the content, because we're creating the artwork now. You know what I mean? We're working on other things. We're working on NDA stuff. We're working on merch. We're working on going back to conventions. We're working on helping our brands. We're working on readying and getting our art better. And that's kind of the content I really like seeing. I love a good topic video. I love a good ramble. I love me a good slurpy rant. And I also do love story times, there's a reason why I did them, but I haven't had any recently because my life's been kind of boring, lately. I shouldn't say it's boring, but it's definitely not like a 10-minute story time kind of thing, like how it used to be, A lot of what happens to me can easily get summed up in like 2-3 minutes. And while I don't like saying that, it's kind of why a lot of other people are also moving to TikTok, People are slowly changing the format of YouTube because I myself now, I really enjoy really long form videos. I love a good in-depth video game or horror movie or horror story analysis. I love when people who are like genuinely passionate about like books they're reading talk about it. Same with shows and movies and reviews and things like that. I love it as well as art, but it's harder and harder to find that because, well, the simple answer is, in half the speed paints you see, I'm usually putting down 2-3 hours of footage into a 10-minute video, or, well, my videos aren't usually 10 minutes, they're usually a little longer than that, but anyway, you understand what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's hard to just talk about art topics that haven't always just been there, and I love a good art challenge, I do, but, and this is me personally, I this isn't any shade to any of my other YouTuber art bros, but a lot of challenges don't appeal to me anymore. They really don't. They never did really. And I'm talking more about the jokey ones that, like, you're not really using your brain. Like, do they make fun videos? Do they make some cursed content? Yeah, they do. But I think a good example of like that content from what I want to find is, it's more so like when you see those things go around Twitter and Instagram where it's like my followers helped me create a character, and it's like a cursed monstrosity instead of like actually trying to create something out of your comfort zone. It's like, okay, just how chaotic and crazy can I make this character? And while those are fun, you're not learning a lot from it. You're not growing your skill, which is something that I really want to do. It's why I've been working a lot on merch on my store. I've been working a lot more on my own artwork. I've been like trying to push my own boundaries. Um, I'm also, with that good paper ASMR here, I finally got a urge to work in my sketchbooks again, and that's something that I realistically haven't had since, I'll probably say, like 2015, 2016. And it's great because looking back at my older sketchbooks, I saw the dip in my content. I saw the dip in my own inspiration, and it's made me realize that I was experiencing a burnout unlike any I had experienced before, because I enjoyed the artwork I was creating back in those years. I was just kind of creating art. There were very few pieces that I genuinely like were inspired to do. And I'm not saying that as those years were bad. 2018 was bad. I'm not going to sugarcoat 2018 wasn't bad. But it's one of those things where I see where things were and I see how things are going. And I miss that just like raw feeling with my own art, you know? And I love interacting with you guys. I like interacting with you guys on Twitch, on Twitter, whenever I get like notes or something in my store, it genuinely like gives me a lot of joy. It makes me really happy when people leave a little note like, "Oh, I really like your vlogs, or I like your videos." And I'm just like, or, "Oh, I love your art." It gives me that happy goo. It gives me the good goo. And with the terrible year that was 2020, I need that good goo, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, I know people have told me that like a lot of my videos are comforts for them, just like how other people's videos were comforts for me, and that is such a compliment. It really is. I take that and hold it to my chest, because it means the world to me when I hear things like that. And because I know what it's like being in a dark place. I know what it's like being in a negative place. I know what it's like having to go through all of, this terrible junk. And that's kind of another reason why I wanted to do this big Art-O-ween thing, was I really wanted to try to help put some more positive energy out there, more fun energy out there, and talk about art, while when it comes to art topics, there are only so many topics and so many subjects you can talk about, when the cows come home, because I'm also a firm believer in, if I don't know what the topic is, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to lie. As someone who did commissions for a long time, I did get irritated when I saw people who, they would have horror stories of the one time they ever took a commission and never again, or the people who talk about running an online store when they don't run an online store. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where I understand where you're coming from and it's a good place, but at the same time, it's not really helping anybody out, because art is a skill, it's one of those things where it's a touchy subject, because like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're so talented. Oh, you're just born with it." I do think, now hear me out, I do think there are people who are born with creativity. But creativity is only going to get you so far. Being an artist is a skill. It takes time. It takes growth. It takes effort. It takes studies. It takes learning a lot of things. And there are many times where I second guess myself. And it's why I'm really, really grateful to have the partner and the friends that I do, now and this year. Because it really helps ground me, because I know, and I'm sure a lot of you listening right now, you've also felt a similar way, where you felt perhaps useless or dumb or foolish or broken, or like, what am I doing? Why am I wasting this time? It's not that. But then when I talk to someone who isn't an artist, with something that's just second nature to me, I realize that it's like, oh no, I do know a lot. I do know what I'm talking about. Oh, I didn't waste my time, because now I know this program, or I know these fundamentals, or I know how this anatomy works, or I know tips and tricks, I know cheats, and I know color theory, I know things like that. And I'm sitting there, and I had the real realization kind of recently, I'll say like this past year, where I was showing I was showing my husband something in Procreate, And I was just, going off. And he was like staring at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, how'd you know to do that? And I'm like, oh, well, the layer does like X, Y, and Z. And he's like, how do you just know that? And I was like, oh, I guess just from years of practice. There's a lot of stuff. Like, I caught that when I was trying to make my tutorial, like when I was originally working through things. There was a video that I was working on that's a collab with a friend coming up in the near future. I'm just waiting on their part. So the video's already done and good to go. I'm just waiting on them. But they brought up a good point about like when I was talking about color blocking in their form of the collab, because we like switched audios. And I didn't even realize that I never really talked about what color blocking was, because I just assumed because I figured out what it was, other people knew what it was. And that's one of those big things. So I want you to sit here. If you're ever feeling low or dumb or useless or thinking that you're wasting time with the art that you are creating right now, you're not. Okay? You're not. I want you to think about where you were when you started. Think about how, if you're a traditional artist, what you've learned since becoming a traditional artist, or if you were always an artist, like a lot of people, what you've learned as you were trying to be more professional and being more like, cohesive. What did you learn when you were painting? What did you learn when you were working with digital programs? What did you learn about pen sensitivity and brushes and textures and layers and clipping masks and formatting and resolution? It's actually a really, really good confidence booster if you're having a low day, because it really puts in perspective that you're not wasting your time with this. You're not wasting your time with this. This is something that hopefully brings you joy, and you're also growing with it. And it is something that takes a long time. And with what I brought up earlier about the whole creativity yada yada thing, is because I have met some amazing artists. They are gorgeous. Their artwork is beautiful. It blows me out of the water. But they don't have any creativity. They've told me so. They have no original ideas or no wants or no anything like that. They're just like, yeah, I just practiced this skill and I took some classes. So, like, I know how to do it, but, it's whatever. And then there are people who are, extremely creative and it's bursting at the seams and you just never have enough time. And there's also nothing wrong with those kinds of people, you know what I mean? Because they still took the time to learn the skill. And so I guess that's just the basics of what I'm trying to say with this. Is I've learned a lot about myself over this Art-O-ween. I hope you guys have an amazing Halloween. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, or comment for the bot, because I generally don't have anything else to say on this topic, and I need to edit this video now because it's already going up late. But and if you can't think of anything, please feed the bot. Those help so much. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Hopefully without the really bad street audio. Bye-bye.